All right, we are back in the studio for this week's live stream. Let's see, going live on Facebook here. Hey, how's it going? I'm surprised. I'm surprising myself that I'm here. Not that surprised, but I'm tired and I could be napping right now. But there's a lot that's been going on. I'm happy to share it with you, and I tried to somewhat make myself presentable for this live stream, and really all I did was let my hair down. There's no double meaning there. I just did it because otherwise, I look tireder than I am. Hey, Mom, and hi, Marcus. Thanks for saying hi. I see you. Leaving comments on our YouTube channel, and if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to comment there too. I'm keeping an eye in both places. Maybe I can even pull up chats today. So Bert is upstairs with hi Amy, with baby. She was being a little fussy. She's not sleeping right now. At the moment, it's one of her awake hours. One of the 4 awake hours that she has right now in her fairly new life. She's 2 weeks old today. And if you watched last week, or even actually the first week that we had her, we didn't know yet that her arm was broken during delivery. Don't be too concerned. It's incredible how babies heal themselves. She has an upper left arm fracture, and there's a big ball forming around it inside of her, all on its own. We don't have to do anything. I don't even remember how to pull up comments anymore, guys. I'm doing this at the same time, and I probably should just be focused on one thing at a time. Let's see if this works. It says I have 11 comments on Facebook. That's not right. Okay, focus, Lynn. Maybe I won't do this right now. Oh, here we go. I remember how to do it. Okay, so anyway, she has a broken arm, and this bone is already forming around it. They told us it would happen, and it's actually already happening. In fact, we could start to feel that bump there last week, and today it was the coolest thing. I see her actually not raise her arm up all the way, but she's actually moving her arm away from her body and being able to move her lower part of her arm. I even saw her touch her face with her left hand, which I was like, oh my God, this is great. How cool is this to see her? She's only had a broken arm for 2 weeks, and she's already healing on her own. We don't even have to stabilize her arm. It is crazy. So I am just so fascinated by baby development. It is the coolest thing, and I don't know, if I decided to go back and become a scientist or a doctor or something like that, I'd probably really be fascinated to watch baby development, maybe even child development. We'll see. So yeah, my mom is asking, can you feel the ball? Yes, you can. It's big, and honestly, if you were to compare the 2 arms, it kind of looks like her left arm has giant biceps. She's just been doing curls for the first 2 weeks of her life nonstop. So yeah, you can see it and feel it. It's really cool. It takes up a good chunk of her arm, just this kind of round mass. It's awesome. All right, so I've got my comments pulled up here. Let's see if this works. All right, so hi Kelly, thanks for coming. Look at me go. I'm getting all this back. It looks like I don't think I've done comments in a while. And yeah, back in the studio indeed. So here's another update. So while Bert is on paternity leave, let me see if, oh yeah, all my hotkeys are working too. This is fantastic. Okay. Oh, Laura, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to say. You look so good. Appreciate it. Hey, hearing that sound is really nice, because I feel like I look tired. And also and I'll get into this in a minute, my postpartum body is something I don't know, I'm fascinated by. It's another thing that I'm also fascinated by is how our bodies recover after we carry a baby for 9 months, and how quickly it changes and what it's doing after you give birth. It's just awesome. Okay, so I was gonna say, with Bert, this is his last week of paternity. It's not really paternity leave. He had to kind of finagle vacation time and PTO and everything to try and just string together 3 weeks, so that he could just be present with us and the baby at home. And this is his 3rd week starting this week. So we've been doing little projects, and one of the things was our main floor bathroom sink has been backing up for a very long time, and I can't even remember when it just drained normal. I don't know what caused it to necessarily get backed up. It could be, that I was doing drywall and cleaning my tools in that sink. Maybe, I don't remember. It could be that, someone grouted our tile floor in the bathroom and maybe he washed his tools in there. But anyway, the pipe in the wall basically was coated with, I don't know, some sort of concrete or grout or something that was dried on and hardened, and water was not draining. Bert tried everything to fix this on his own, and I'm very proud of him. Like, he was just so determined. And finally, he's like, I've gotten to a point where I know what the problem is, and it's not something I can fix. So he called a plumber. He called another plumber until he found one that he was happy with. Plumber came out today, and I think he called the plumber on like Friday. So it was a very quick turnaround. Came out this morning, fixed the problem for us pretty quickly. And then Bert was like, I hear plumbers also do gas lines. Can you come take a look at something in the basement? Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I talked about this on a live stream months ago when I first moved down to the basement. There was right here by my head, just to the left of me, and I had turned the camera on it, I'm pretty sure, this like tanglement of gas lines and pipes that really have no purpose or point. So Bert asked them if they'd be able to remove that, and they did, guys. So now we have a working sink on the main floor, and all of our gas lines are now just kind of straightforward. No unnecessary turns or things that you can hit your head on. So how cool is that? A big step in like the basement renovation kind of happened today by removing that twisty turny metal pipe thing that hung down from the ceiling. So woohoo! So that's awesome. Yay for plumbers indeed. Plumber appreciation big time over here. Very happy for that. Yeah, plumbers are awesome. So that is, thanks guys. It is great news. So that's really like, it's a cool thing that we have this time, away from work, just to focus on home. I mean, I am not saying we have all the free time in the world, because we certainly don't. It's not like that. It's like Bert will be holding the baby after I fed her, and I am breastfeeding, and it's going fairly well. If there's time, I'll kind of give a more in detail update about that too, because I know that that's a fascinating topic for a lot of new moms or moms or people that are going to be moms and considering breastfeeding. It's a harder thing than most people realize to actually breastfeed. Shoot, I lost my train of thought. I was saying that, so after I feed, either Bert or I will hold the baby until she falls asleep, and then it's kind of like hit or miss if we put her in her bassinet, if she'll actually stay asleep, or if she just really wants to be held by one of us. If one of us holds her, she'll sleep. If she goes in the bassinet, it's a 50-50. So there's a little bit of game of risk there. So Bert was holding her this morning, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get as many chores done as I can. So I was like straightening up, I was doing laundry, and Bert's like, you're not supposed to be lifting stuff that heavy. And I'm like, I don't know, it's 2 weeks out, I feel like I'm doing okay. Of course I do too much, but that's what I do. And I keep looking away because I'm trying to keep my train of thought. The sleep thing is real too. Like, the baby's feeding every 2 to 3 hours, and that's like day and night. So she'll wake up in the middle of the night, or we'll wake her up in the middle of the night, if it hits 3 hours, because after that she can get real fussy and inconsolable. If she gets hungry, she's like a little monster. And anyway, so it's a little tough with the sleep cycle. Though Bert and I are figuring that out too. I am pumping to supplement, so that we have a bottle for Bert to give her during one of those, shifts. So that allows me like a window of like 4 to 5 hours of straight sleep, if I'm lucky, which has only really worked out, I think, maybe twice. And one of them was really because Bert let me sleep in after a particularly rough night. And he's like, just sleep until you're done. Anyway, I'm going all over the place with my thoughts today. The sleep thing is real, but there's no surprise there. Any new parent is going to tell you that the sleep part's hard. So we're working on these little projects. We're getting chores done. I got this wonderful necklace as well. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Mama on it, and that's from Christy, Bert's sister, my sister-in-law. I've got to say, guys, we received really wonderful gifts, and I honestly don't know how we would have done it without the support of our friends and family. Just having everything, and I don't know, a lot of people gave us things we didn't even know we needed, and it's incredible. Like, everything's been put to use, almost everything, except for anything that's not a newborn size outfit. Anything that's 0 to 3 is still, she's a peanut because she is tiny. She is still under 6 pounds. So it's going to take a while before she gets to the clothing that's a little bit bigger. But the cool thing is that the bigger clothing and the bigger diapers, like, we're not set forever, but like we're in good shape. And I don't know, it feels really good to have everyone kind of chip in and show us that support, either through gifts or kind words or whatever it was. We feel really loved, and Amelia is obviously very loved too. We are not those parents that are sheltering her from the outside world for a certain amount of time before taking her out. We have brought her to now 2 weeks of soccer games. She's met a lot of our friends already and family. And I don't know, I mean, the babies don't do very much, so there's not a lot to look at. But the nice thing is then we get to catch up with friends and family. So we really appreciate the friends from out of town that make time to, particularly see us, that happened with 2 sets of out of town friends yesterday. And it was just really nice. I don't know, maybe, having a baby is a nice excuse to catch up with people, especially because we have a little bit more time to do it. We're not going to work and trying to figure out how to make time for catching up with people. Yeah. So, okay. We have not tried this yet. So we did have, my mom suggested warming the bassinet, because it might be that Amelia likes our warmth and that's what she wants. Now, I think that there's probably more to it, right? Like, she's able to hear our heartbeats, because that's, she's being held. She's hearing just like the movement of our body and feeling the movement of our body. But I do think it's worth a try warming the bassinet. We have not done it yet. We also now have 2 bassinets, one for downstairs and one for upstairs, thanks to Kelly and Paul, because their baby's outgrown the bassinet. And oh my God, the bassinet they gave us, I'm just so happy because it's got a swivel on it. And it's a game changer because I can like turn the bassinet towards me while I'm laying in bed to be like wherever she is in the bassinet and be able to like look at her. And new parents, tell me if this happens to you too, where you have this like, oh my God, is she still breathing? Kind of like little moments in the middle of the night, and you just have to wake up and make sure like baby's okay. I'm sure that we're not the only ones that happens to, but maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure that will eventually, taper off, and we'll just kind of be like, okay, it's normal that the baby hasn't cried in 3 hours. Yeah. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to lift anything heavier than the baby. I'm trying not to. Whatever. And Kelly, thank you for reminding me. All of this that we're going through right now, the hard The hard nights, it's temporary. Just like contractions, the pain is temporary. I do remind myself of this every night. I'm like, we just have to get through it. And I am not a marathon runner, and I am, I don't mind a 5K, but this feels like a freaking marathon. Like every night when I'm like doing my shift at the beginning, because Bert will wake up at like 2 or 3 a.m. to do the bottle, and I start the night by feeding and then, a diaper change and trying to soothe her to sleep. And I'm kidding myself every night when I start at 9 or 9:30 thinking, okay, this will be a 1 hour thing. I'll be in bed by 10 and then I'll wake up at midnight and do the feeding then. Yeah, no, I don't think I go to sleep until I get done with that 12 a.m. shift, which usually ends around 12:30 or 1. But we're getting there. We're getting much better. And, here I'm going to ask you guys this. Co-sleeping. So I'm not entirely sure what that looks like, but last night I held her in bed. I was awake, but I held her, and so that way, instead of putting her in the bassinet and going through this routine of her just screaming and everything like that, she just, not screaming, but like her crying and me not knowing if it's, I have to go through, is it the diaper, is it she's still hungry, does she have gas, does she just need her wub-a-nub, a little pacifier thing, and it's usually one of those 4 things. So instead of having to go through that whole like crying thing, what is she crying about, does she just want to be held? I just held her, and I did some I'll be honest, I did some shopping while I was holding her on my phone. There were some things that I needed, and a gift that I wanted to order for somebody, and so I just did that. And I was like, I also been working on getting like a return address stamp so that we can just stamp all of our thank you cards with our return address. So that's what I was doing, and I was researching new sheets that I wanted to get for the bed. This is what I was doing. It was a good use of my time. And then, around midnight, she normally will wake me up, saying that she's hungry. But she was so comfy, laying on me. I'm like, all right, I have to wake her up. So woke her up, did the feeding, and then held her again. And then I was like, I'm pretty sure she's pretty out. So I put her in her bassinet, and she actually slept the rest of an hour or 2, whatever, until it was Bert's turn to take over. So this is okay. So Kelly's saying I like to breastfeed laying down. So this is something I've also gotten into is the reclined breastfeeding. So she's laying on me but the only thing is I don't know how to do what happens when does she just fall asleep on me? Because we've been really good about burping her. We learned the hard way if we don't burp her, that she's going to puke, almost guaranteed. But she's a great burper. I am so proud of how well she burps. Every time I try to burp someone else's kid, I don't get a burp out of them. With her, we really just have to fold her in half, rub her back a couple times, and she's like, eh. And it's funny, she'll do a fake burp sometimes, she knows what she's supposed to be doing. I know she doesn't, she's just a baby, but it seems like she's got this personality where she's like a fake burp and come on, Mom, I don't want to do this, and then we stick with it and we get a real burp. Anyway, okay, so Kelly, you lay on your side. I see. I'm going to have to look up this. So you're saying look up Safe Sleep 7. Okay, I will look this up. Thank you for the tip. Obviously, Kelly, you've been the biggest help ever for going through this. With you going through it with 3 boys, you were the first person I turned to lately, or just in general, for advice for this. So thank you. Okay, Mom is remembering these days. Yeah. And Amy, this is a great question. What did Imani say about the baby? So, teenagers, they don't like to have long conversations with adults. But it was really, she wanted to know what we named her. She said it was W, so she liked the name. It means, W for win. And she also told us, she reminded us that the baby was born on the same day, has the same birthday as her brother, which is kind of fun fact. And that's really it. You know, I feel like she'll be texting again soon, or we'll text her soon just to kind of check in and see how each other's doing. But I believe school's starting up for her soon. And I think Bert was texting with her a bit, that she got a job, or was working with like a day camp or something like that, which is such a perfect role for her because she's so good with kids. So she's doing well. And yeah, you know, we're trying to let her. It's a tough balance between being in touch with her and giving her space to like have her new life with her family. So it's tricky, but you know, I love that we're still in touch, and I don't think that will ever change. I don't think that we're ever going to be completely disconnected. So that's nice. Yes, Master Burper indeed. That's our baby. That's so hilarious. Great emojis there. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, so we're, you know, I put in the description for this episode that I want to talk about postpartum. I think last week I mentioned that I was part of a postpartum photo shoot. I posted those pictures. I believe I shared them on the Baby Talk Facebook page. I hope I did. I think that they're there. I can't look right now, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. And that was, you know, my good friend Lauren. It was postpartum pride, showing what different women's bodies with their kids, and how, I don't know, like all the women were just like in their underwear and bra, you know, like kind of somewhat exposed, you know, and really just showing, you know, shape and being proud of what our womanly bodies look like after we have kids. And mine was very freshly postpartum. It was, I think Lauren said 3 days. It was really 5 days technically, because I had baby on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was the shoot. And I keep looking back at those pictures and I'm like, how swollen my legs were, and how swollen my belly was, and even my face was pudgy, and just how everything was, I don't know, just so different, but not pregnant, you know. And it was all the things from having the baby, and I don't even know what caused the swelling and all that, but it's normal. And since then, every day, you know, the swelling goes down, and it didn't take long for me to be able to feel my toes again, because my legs were so swollen and my ankles were so swollen that I couldn't even feel my toes anymore. I could, like, am I wiggling them? I'm not even sure. And then the swelling went away in my legs, and I started to, I don't know, feel better in my face, and started to every day watch my belly kind of like go down and down and down. And it was almost kind of sad. At the same time as like, oh, you know, like I'm somewhat getting my body kind of back. And I, you know, I know that this can be like a sensitive topic for some people, but I hope by me talking about it kind of makes it a little bit easier for people to talk about it, or to kind of just get in touch with their own feelings. Because one of the nurses told me is like, you know, like you're going to have hard feelings that come up. You're going to remember the labor, you're going to remember bits and pieces, or you're going to remember the trauma of going into the operating room, kind of, they wouldn't say emergency, they kept saying urgently, that I had to go and have an urgent C-section. So this nurse gave me this advice, you know, she's like, when those feelings come up, you know, like process them, like think about them, don't shove them down. And I think, as fascinated as I am watching my baby grow and all these things that she can do, I'm so fascinated at what my body is doing, and how it's repairing itself, and how this scar from being cut open, they go through 7 layers, I believe, in order to do a cesarean section, is what I was reading. You know, your uterus and some muscles, and then your skin and everything. And the layers that they sew, and the other layers that they don't even sew because it just fixes itself. It's incredible what our bodies do, and how a C-section is one of the last surgeries that they actually do by cutting us open. Almost everything is done orthoscopically these days. Meaning, they just make a small incision and then they go in and they're able to make repairs that way. And when I had my shoulder surgery, I think they only made 2 or 3 tiny little incisions and they were able to repair everything. It's incredible what they can do. So, yeah, the body thing, last week they took my bandage off on Wednesday at the doctor's office, and it was a massive bandage, so I had no idea how big my scar actually was. And it wasn't until maybe Thursday or Friday that I actually looked at it to see what it looked like. And it's okay, how did I measure it? I'm like, as far as I can go with this finger and this finger, which now I'm looking at it is probably maybe the size of Amelia's shoulders. They had said that it was as big as her head, but it's probably as big as her shoulders. I'll test it out later. But anyway, it's somewhere between the size of her head and the size of her shoulders. It's not very big, right? Like you're still kind of like wiggling a baby out through not that big of an incision. But because I labored, my lower area, my vagina is also healing and everything down there, and there's still bleeding that I have to worry about as well. And it's the body and what it thinks it went through and versus what it actually went through, and how my breasts are forming milk, and I am just in awe of what our bodies do and how I even grew a human inside me. So anyway, I think it's absolutely miraculous. The hard part is for me is I'm an athletic person. I'm a fit person. I like to push myself, and I feel a little bit limited now, and I'm looking at myself and just eager to get back to being active and full, being able to fully do what I want to do. And I hate the limitations right now physically that I have. The belly, I've been taking pictures of it in the mirror just because I'm fascinated at how long it takes for the swelling to go down. And I'm able to touch my belly, and I'll stand up in a moment to show you what I'm talking about. I can actually feel my uterus in there. It's really cool. And each day I can feel it getting smaller and smaller, so it's shrinking down. And that to me is also like, I didn't even know that was a thing, like that the uterus stays big. And in a non-pregnant woman's body, like the uterus is, how do they do it? Like this is this, I think the size that they do it, if you use your fingers and your thumbs and your forefingers, it's like that's how big it normally is. And it's huge to me. So let me stand up. I'll give you a little, show you what's going on here. So not too bad. Yeah. The other thing is like my butt feels very, and I know I'm far away from the microphone, but anyway, kind of just wider. Got this bump that's, looks like, am I recovering, or am I, at like the 6-month mark as being pregnant? But I haven't done squats in a while, so my butt looks like it's just like my back and then straight down. But I also think it's everything, right? My body is still kind of getting back into shape and may never look the same again, and that's okay too. I think that's a big thing for women that have babies, and our bodies, we should not expect them to recover quickly. And they said, my doctor said, give it a year. Realistically, give it a whole year, and that's you working at it, for it to actually be back to where it was pre-pregnancy, a full year. So I just have to be patient, and, I'm going to probably push myself because that's what I do. So I am, I'm proud of what my body has done, and I'm proud of what every woman who's ever given birth, whether it's through the vaginally or a C-section. I think no matter how you carried your baby and had that baby, it's incredible. So, Mama, I see you. All mamas, I see you. Thank you. Thanks, Dad. Thanks. That's nice of you to say. But it's not really about looking great. It's really just showing what a postpartum body looks like here. Okay, so postpartum body. Honestly, so I'm off of Tylenol and there was no refills. That was what I was on. I'm allergic to NSAIDs, which are basically like the Motrin or ibuprofen, and often they'll have you rotate between Tylenol and Motrin, as the painkillers after you give birth. So I couldn't do that. So I've just been on Tylenol and then some other medicine that's supposed to help with like the nerve endings or something like that. I don't know the name of it right now, but that's the only one that I have left to keep me going as far as like pain meds go. I think right now if I was supposed to take pain medication, it would just be like over-the-counter Tylenol, and that's fine too. I don't have a lot of pain. I have some discomfort where the incision is, and it's like already healed. Like there's like the scar is just like, it looks kind of like if you were to take like the mouth of a balloon and just pull it real tight. That's kind of what it looks like. Does that make sense? I don't know. It'll be cool to see how that heals too, but it's uncomfortable, and I think just wearing like loose fitting clothing is all I need to do. All right, I'm babbling. Let's keep this interesting here. So baby's healing. Her arm is doing well. Today was the first day we actually tried to do tummy time. It was unclear, and we forgot to ask the orthopedic doctor like when we should do tummy time. Since we saw her move her arm today, we're like, let's just give it a 60-second go and see what she does. And it's really cool. She is able to pick up her head and turn it side to side. This little girl, it's just so cool. All right. Oh, Kelly, thank you for this tip. Make sure to do scar massage too. So people used to tell me this after I had my other surgery, and I think vitamin E, is that right, to rub into that? I don't know if anyone else has tips about scars too. Let me know. And I don't know how early, because right now I feel like if I were to massage my scar, I'd actually not like that. It would not feel good. I'm still scared that I'm going to like bust it open. I don't know. It just still feels very fresh. I'm feeling it right now just to see what it's like, and it feels bad. Yes, vitamin E, Mom is saying. Okay, thanks, Mom. Okay, so what else? You guys, how are you doing? Like, do you have any stories? Does anyone want to celebrate any wins? Any exciting things going on? I used to check in with you quite a bit more than before, when there wasn't so much going on with a new baby in the house. Okay, scar tape. All right, I'll have to look into this. I don't know what scar tape is. So my OB put like little, so if the scar is horizontal, she put like vertical kind of like tape on there at my appointment last week. But today when I was in the shower, yes, I got a shower. It was awesome. They were already kind of like coming off, and so I just pulled them all off, and they looked a little yellow. So I was like, I guess these are done. So I don't know if that's the same thing as scar tape, but I will look into it. I'm going to check. I'll just do a Google search and figure that out. This is big. Okay, so Beckett is Amelia's cousin, 4 months old. These two, I feel like, they're going to be so close in age growing up. I'm just so excited for the two of them. Okay, so those are the steri strips that I was just describing a moment ago. Okay, so I will look into scar tape and see what that is. So thanks, Kelly. But awesome that Beckett rolled over. That's so huge. That's a milestone, and I can't wait. Like these milestones, like some of them are so small, but to parents they're so big. I am like, tummy time today seemed like a big deal. Amelia just raising her arm this much was a big deal. It's all these little things. Every day I'm like, I should be keeping a little journal of these things, like to look back on. And I haven't been. I think that like 5 times a day, and I still don't pull out a journal. I've got plenty of blank journals around the house, and I still don't do it. But I did find today, someone had gifted us, or maybe passed along, and I feel bad because I don't remember who gave it to us right off the top of my head, but like a journal of like babies first and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to start doing, is keeping up with that every day. Oh my God, Dad saw the rollover? That is exciting. That's awesome, guys. Cool that you got to share that. But Beckett does not like tummy time. Well, I'm sure he will in time. Yeah. Amy got a new water heater after a cold shower. Oh, that's awesome that your son is a plumber. That's why you were like, yeah, plumbers are awesome. Amy, I should have given you a call. You could have sent your son down to help us out. Probably would not have been worth his time, but that's awesome. That's really cool. Very, very nice and handy that you have that in the family. I'm jealous. Very cool. And water heaters are not an easy thing to just replace. I'm only laughing because Bert showed me a reel about a guy doing a stand-up bit about that his wife was the handy person in the relationship, and there's a whole bit about water heaters in there. Anyway, maybe I'll share that on the channel because it was really funny. It's relatable, I think, because I use a lot of the tools and do the drywall, and I don't know. A lot of times when we used to go to the hardware store when I was rebuilding the kitchen, and if Bert and I go, for some reason, like sometimes at the stores, whoever the salesperson was or the person helping us would talk to Bert, and Bert would be like, "Don't talk to me, talk to her. She's the one doing the project." There's just a lot of assumption that males are the ones doing these projects, but I don't know. I keep a lot of friends that are female, and usually the ones that are lead in the household home improvement projects. Yeah. Oh, Amy, you saw that one? It was so good. It was so good. I was laughing so hard when I saw it. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for guys, for sharing what's going on in your lives too. I think looking ahead for this next week for me and Bert, we're really going to soak up the last week that we have together and try and figure out how are we doing this over the next few months with Bert, back at work. Now, he works from home, but that doesn't mean he's always accessible. He has to work. Like, he has meetings. He needs to get his stuff done. So we're going to have to figure out what is our routine, how are we setting our day up so that, I can take care of Amelia and, that's my focus, but also so that our normal stuff gets done too, like all of our chores. Also, let me ask you this. Do you guys call chores at your house? We had friends yesterday that we met up with, and they're like, we don't call them chores. We just say it's doing the laundry or doing the dishes or sweeping the house. But I don't know, in our house, like especially with Imani, we would have chore day, which was either Saturday or Sunday every weekend, where we got all of our chores done. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm getting a sign from Bert. Okay, I gotta wrap this up, guys. She's hungry. But let me know. Do you do chores in your house, or do you just call them what they are? I see Kelly's comment. I'm waiting for it so I can put it up on the screen. We don't do chores. LOL. That's funny. Yes, chores, says Amy. Okay. All right. See, all right. My friends were like, chores are what your mom tells you to do. And I'm like, chores are just what everyone has to do in order to keep their household running. Anyway, okay. My mom's saying also ask for help if you need it. Okay. I am absolutely horrible at this. I am so bad at asking for help. It takes quite a bit for me to do this, and it usually has to be wrapped up with something else. Like, okay, I'll ask my parents to come over and help with like an electric project, but I'll also make sure that it's a visit and we're doing dinner and there's something else, more to it, not just like, Dad, can you come over and help? So I have a hard time. Okay, and I hear the baby crying, so I do need to go. So you guys, thank you for hanging out. I gotta go feed Amelia. And then next week we'll catch up a little bit more, and maybe next week we'll talk about breastfeeding in particular. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. I know it's a longer episode than usual, but hopefully, it was fun for you guys to get a catch up with me too. All right. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you later. Bye. None of these buttons work anymore. Okay.